Alright, guys, last chapter of Homeless Bird, chapter 11. He was waiting for me when I left the workshop. I was so pleased to see him that with no thought for modesty, I reached for his hand. When did you get back? Last night. I went to Mr. Gavine's and Tanu sent me here, but I must return to my village very soon. I have to get the lentils planted in time for the rains next month. No sooner had he returned than I was to lose him again. What about your rickshaw job? I asked, hoping that might keep him here for a bit. I'm all finished with rickshaws. Crowley, let's go back to our place on the river. I want to talk to you. I was surprised at his request, but pleased at any chance to be with Raji, and he had called it our place. As he walked along, I thought about how the city had changed for me. When I had come, the city had been unwelcoming, even treacherous, but now I had found my place in it. I had my work and my friends. Still, I was never so happy as I had been with Raji, and I could not help but be sad at how soon he would leave me. It was the dry season. We could see the muddy cradle of the banks through which the river ran. We settled on a patch of grass, and taking off our sandals, we swung our feet into the brown water. Behind us, the deserted temple looked shabby. In the gloominess, I could not help remembering my evening at Mala's apartment and wondering what Raji would think of me if he knew of it. Raji listened to my silence for a while, and then he said, "Something's troubling you." I nodded, unable to get out my words. Just then a heron flew over us and drifted down to the river's edge. We stayed quiet to keep it there. I wondered if Raji, like me, was remembering the first time we had seen it. After it flew away, Raji said, "Why should we have secrets?" The whole story of my evening at Mala's came out in a flood of words. Raji did not say at once that it was all right or that I was very foolish. He only looked out at the Yamuna River, which minded its own business. After a bit, he said, "I would like to meet that Kajal. I would stamp him into pieces like the scorpion he is. I'm glad you told me, but that is in the past. I came back to the city to talk to you about what is ahead. My uncle has decided to rent half my land. With his money, I can fix up my house. A man from the government is showing me how to make my land more fertile. Already the wheat I planted has pushed up. I want you to come back with me to my village. You would like it there. We have all the things that please you." Puzzled, I asked, "But what would I do in your village?" Gazing down, Raji mumbled, "You would be my wife, of course." So exciting. I stared at him. I had never imagined such a thing would be possible. I thought I must be dreaming. "But what of your family?" I managed to ask. "They wouldn't want you to marry a widow. Such a marriage is inauspicious, and you own land. You would have no trouble finding a wife who would bring you a dowry." Raji tore up some reeds, and tossed them into the river. "I don't want to marry a handful of rupees. Can I come to my house at the end of the day in the fields and talk to rupees? Can I bring up my children with rupees for a mother to watch over them?" My ma and Bap lived in the same house, but no word passed between them except when my ma offered a second helping of rice to Bap, or my Bap said the eggplants were wormy. "I want to talk to my wife." "I can talk to you." "I have no family but my uncle and aunt. Surely I can make up my own mind. Anyway, I've told them about you." He grinned at me. "Besides, I have a need to improve my reading, and no one in my family can read." I smiled back, but no words came. I could only sit there looking out across the river. The setting sun was turning the water from brown to gold. The first streaks of evening lay against the sky like a purple border on a blue sari. I had never thought of marrying again. I had known that Raji would make a fine husband for some lucky girl, but I could hardly believe that he had chosen me or that his family would accept me. "At first," Raji said, "we'd be poor. But I have fixed the house up so the rains can't get in, and we would grow all the food we need on our land. Our crop of okra and lentils will bring in money. There's a well in the courtyard. If we have water and food and a roof over our heads, that's all we need." I still had not found words, and Raji studied me. Maybe I should not have spoken. "Maybe you do not care for me." I looked lovingly at Raji's strong shoulders and brown skin and his foolish, wayward hair, which he had tried to slick down with coconut oil. "I do care for you. I missed you when you were away. I was in the courtyard every evening looking for you." He took my hand, and I did not pull it away. Had I not always been happy with Raji? I wanted to tell Raji yes, yes, but his asking had happened so quickly. And what of my embroidery at Mr. Doss's place, and my friends at Ma Kamala's house? I could see myself in two places, with Raji and in Mr. Doss's workroom, but I could not see myself in just one place. How could I give up my work? I asked Raji. What would I do? You'll have the house to care for, and the marketing, and the cooking. In a voice so quiet I could hardly hear him, he added, and I suppose there will be children. He ran his hand over his hair, ruffling what had already been ruffled. I could not forget my days with Sass. I saw myself once again sweeping a courtyard and carrying heavy jugs of water. Even without Sass, the work would be hard, yet Raji and I would be there together. I don't know, Raji, I managed to get out. Perhaps we should wait a bit. In a disappointed voice, he said, You want to stay here and go to more parties at your friend Mala's. I don't. I wish I hadn't told you. I'm sorry. He looked miserable. How long do you want to wait? I thought for a bit, trying to make out what this new life would be like. At last I said, Not long. When I saw the hurt look